More than 20 years ago, DuPont and ConAgra formed a joint venture to develop products that could benefit human health. The result was the development of a proprietary patented technology known as i26. Instrumental in this process was Dr. Helen Greenblatt. Today, Dr. Greenblatt is the Chief Science Officer of Legacy for Life. She holds a dual doctorate in microbiology and immunology from the State University of New York Downstate Medical Center.
Hello, I'm Dr. Helen Greenblatt. The immune system plays a vital role in the health of every part of our body. But the exact workings of the immune system are almost an entire mystery. And why do I say that? Well, think about the diseases that this world is fighting. We're talking about HIV/AIDS, SARS, MRSA, cancer. We can't even stop the common cold or the flu from happening. And that's because our understanding of the immune system is quite primitive. There is no question, however, that our health depends entirely on the workings of our immune system. When infectious agents attack us, the immune system responds with inflammation. A lot of people think when I say the word inflammation that inflammation is always bad. Absolutely not. We would not be able to survive without inflammation. We live in an ocean of microorganisms that are always trying to invade us, and it's only inflammation that helps protect us. It's our inflammatory immune cells that stop cancer cells from replicating and stops pathogens from invading us even further. But it's very interesting that there's a two-way communication between cancer cells and our immune system, between viruses, parasites, bacteria, etc., and our immune system. The immune system will put out biochemical active molecules that will try and stop, for example, cancer cells or stop other cells from multiplying. However, these cells are also at the same time communicating in a way with the immune system because they put out molecules that will trigger the immune response. So it's a two-way communication, one that we're still trying to learn a lot about. It is the inflammatory immune cell that helps protect the body, and they're basically the soldiers of the body. You have two electron micrographs, for example. These are called scanning electron micrographs, where you can see the macrophage trying to destroy the bacteria and also other macrophages trying to destroy cancer cells. It's essential to realize that the immune system has basically two pathways, one which is inflammatory and the other which calms down the inflammation, down-regulates it. And both of these are essential if you are going to have a healthy balance in your body. Inflammation is basically a double-edged sword. And what we mean by that is, if you have an immune system which is balanced, aligned, what you're going to have is you're going to have health, you're going to have focus, your joints are going to feel great, your hormones are going to be in the right place. You just find that life is great. If, for example, instead you have an overactive immune system, now what you're talking about is you're talking about many sorts of diseases. Too much inflammation is just as bad as too little. Think about what an overactive immune inflammatory response gives you. Autoimmune problems, cardiovascular, neurodegenerative, Alzheimer's, allergies, fatigue, depression. The list goes on and on. Now, take a look at some of the kind of diseases we're talking about when we're talking about inflammation. Interestingly, look at the last four letters of each, itis. If you see the word itis, or someone says to you, you have such and such itis, arthritis, colitis, hepatitis, sinusitis, now what you're talking about is inflammation. Balanced immune responses are also responsible for how we age. And you have to think about aging. Aging doesn't occur overnight. It occurs in steps. You wake up in the morning, you're a little stiff. You find that you can't eat as much sugar as you used to. You get sugar imbalances. You have hormonal imbalances. Then you find that you have fatigue. And then you start to see, well, I'm having increased inflammation. I'm feeling very, very uncomfortable. And I'm under more medication. Another aspect of inflammation that we're just starting to learn about is the association of inflammation with obesity. Fat cells excrete inflammatory molecules. And that means that it's causing this low-grade inflammation. Now, the body always wants to try and balance itself. So one way that it does it is that it releases naturally occurring anti-inflammatories every time we contract muscles. And that's why exercise is so important, because it helps the body balance the amount of inflammation that's going on. Inflammation is good. We absolutely need inflammation. But the problem is that we don't want it to be at a low burn. So it's all about the proper amount of inflammation. So how do we help the body return to its normal homeostasis, its normal balance? Well, you've been hearing the media telling you. Nutritious diet, phytonutrients, vitamins and minerals, omega-3 fatty acids, exercise, and appropriate weight. But you know, something is missing from this equation. Because think about athletes. Athletes eat in a nutritious manner. They watch their weight. They take supplemental vitamins and minerals, fatty acids, and protein supplements. But they still have problems because their joints are achy. Their recovery is longer than they would like it to be. They find that more effort doesn't necessarily result in better performance, and their stamina isn't as great as they would like to see. Now, take regular folks. Maybe you have a friend, maybe yourself. You maintain your proper weight. You're eating well, and you're taking handfuls of vitamins and minerals. And yet, you wake up in the morning, your joints are stiff. You're under stress. You're exhausted. You have problems with your bowels, with your cholesterol. You don't sleep well at night. You wake up multiple times. You just don't know. What else can you do? What is the solution? Our solution for you is go beyond nutrition and take hyperimmune egg. I26, commonly known as hyperimmune egg, affects energy levels, feelings of well-being, enhances sports athletics, and then helps support our immune, digestive, cardiovascular health, maintains healthy cholesterol levels, and helps the body alleviate the aches and pains associated too often with daily living. You know, you hear that and you go, oh yeah, it does everything. Well, it does do everything, and I finally came to a conclusion why that was. And that's because, as we said at the beginning, the immune system is involved in the health of every organ system. If you are able to balance the immune system, then what you're doing now is you're making a difference in the health of every system in your body. Let's talk about the 3 T's of I26: technology, testing, and testimonials. The acquisition of the technology occurred in 1987, and we acquired it as part of a joint venture between DuPont and ConAgra. Neither of these companies are associated with us any longer, but nonetheless, based on over 30 years of research on hyperimmune foods and $50 million in research and development, we now have a product that makes a significant difference in the quality of life of so many people. The I26 technology is based on the principle of passive transfer of nutrients, growth factors, and immunity to the offspring. Why you have to transfer immunity is quite simple if you think about the fact that the offspring, a mammalian offspring, still has not developed its immune system sufficiently to protect itself. So the mother must, by nursing, provide those factors to the offspring to help protect the offspring. It's ready-made immunity. We manufacture I26 by gently guiding the immune system of a hen to benefit that of human and animal health. The hen responds to this stimulation with this boosted response, and then deposits antibodies and other immune factors into her egg in a concentrated form to provide to her chick. And what's interesting is that these factors are so common across so many species that they can benefit human and other animals as well. It's important to realize that hyperimmune egg does not boost the immune system of a human. I26 hyperimmune egg naturally balances an immune response. What's interesting is that a biological system is often seen as this bell-shaped curve. And what I26 will do is help the immune system balance itself, not boost itself. You don't want to have a boosted system. And that's because if you think about people who have arthritis, Crohn's disease, diabetes, these people are already in an overinflated state in terms of immune responses. The last thing in the world they would want to do is boost that response. Sometimes people will ask, how does I26 hyperimmune egg affect the body? And I like to look at it like a buffet, where the body selects those elements it needs to rebalance its immune functions. It's important to realize that I26 does not interfere with medication because I26 is an all-natural dietary supplement. Also, if you're wondering how long will it take you to see an effect, typically when someone is taking 2 servings a day, before 9 days are up, they'll see a major difference in their energy, their feeling of well-being, their joints, their digestive tract. People who've been using I26 for many years have always been wondering whether or not they should supply it to their animals, and of course the answer is yes. And the kind of results that we see are very similar to that in humans. We see differences in their coats, in their joints, in their digestive tract. It also reminds me of the response that I give people when they ask me, is this a placebo effect? And the response I give back to them is, look, you see the kind of results in humans that you see in animals, and animals are not affected by placebo effects. The I26 technology was originally acquired by DuPont and ConAgra. It's listed in the 2007 Physician's Desk Reference for Non-Prescription Drugs and Dietary Supplements. There's a booklet by Dr. Alan Schwartz called Hyperimmune Egg that you can get at your local natural food store. And also there's hyperimmuneegg.org, which is a dedicated technology site. The hyperimmune egg technology is patent protected, not by 1, not by 2, but by 100 patents and patent submissions, and they're global throughout the world. The majority of our patents are for the molecular identification and application of this technology. You might also be interested in visiting the hyperimmuneegg.org site. You'll see there partial listings of patents, preclinical and clinical trials, as well as more explanation in terms of the background of hyperimmune egg. There are also PDF files of published papers, and for health professionals, please contact me directly. I'll be glad to give you any drafts or manuscripts that you request. We have been talking about the 3 T's of I26: technology, testing, and testimonials. I26 has been clinically proven to work with the body to balance and support immune health. These results are reported in peer-reviewed scientific journals. So, for example, we have preclinical and clinical trials on joints at the Hospital for Special Surgery in New York City. On cardiovascular, that was our double-blind, placebo-controlled trial with the United States military. They funded half of that study. We've done studies in South Africa, in India, in Kenya, in Uganda, with individuals showing what a difference it makes in individuals' quality of life, especially when they are having major health challenges. One of our more recent studies was done in the area of sports performance. The investigator calls our product supercharged egg, and what he saw was that it enhances sports performance. Individuals that were in this subject study, and again, we're talking double-blind, placebo-controlled, they found that there was less effort to achieve higher levels of performance. They found there was less stress on the heart and the body during intense exercise. They found that people became stronger, faster, especially for upper body strength. Their muscles didn't tire as quickly, and they found very, very rapid recovery. Sometimes only 3 servings were required to see a difference within the 24 hours. And this all occurred without drugs or synthetic stimulants. We're very pleased with these results because this is support for what we've been hearing all these years, namely that athletes see major differences in their joints, in their performance, in their focus, in their zoning. In fact, I had one coach once say to me, you know, I have 19-year-old basketball players with 60-year-old knees, and it makes such a difference in them. We've been talking about the 3 T's of I26: technology, testing, and testimonials. During the last 20 years, I've been very fortunate to hear the stories of thousands upon thousands of people For example, a wheelchair-bound physician who now can open her practice again. She's able to get around, and not only does she get around, she plays a dynamite game of tennis. The stories sometimes really hit one's heart. 68-pound male, 21 years of age, under what is called complete home care. And his mom tells me that every time he comes home from the hospital, he really is in need of skin support. He starts to balance his immune system, and the next thing we know, she's calling me 24 hours later and saying she's very impressed by the differences she's seeing in his skin. As you can imagine, we get a lot of reports from people undergoing chemo and radiation therapy, and they tell us that they see significant changes in the quality of their life, their energy, their feelings of well-being, and their physical appearance. To summarize, hyperimmune egg, also known as i26 supercharged egg, is an ingredient that changes lives. I don't have to hype it. More than 70% of the people who use i26 will see dramatic differences, and we're talking within days, within weeks, not within months. It's patented to prevent copycats so that you are sure of what you're consuming. And there is impressive science. i26 is supported by published preclinical and clinical studies, and they're on this exact product, not something that someone else has concocted. A holy sage has said, the very fact that you have certain information that can help others means that in some way you are able to help. Otherwise, why would this knowledge have entered your world? There are many people who need the knowledge that you've hopefully gained during this presentation. Knowledge gives you power. Power to change lives, your own and the lives of those for whom you care. From the bottom of my heart, I encourage you to take i26. You'll see what a difference it makes in your life and in the life of those that you love. Let it take you beyond nutrition to levels of health you've never experienced before. Thank you very much.